everyone, my name is Maria Jose Varas, and today I'm going to teach you about the present perfect tense. First of all, we use present perfect to express something that happened in the past but is still having an effect in the present. Now I'm going to show you some structures of present perfect. First of all, we have the affirmative form, that in the first position we have to put a subject. Then we have to add our auxiliary verb, that in this case have. Then a participle verb and a complement. In the case of the third person singular, that is he, she, or it, we use has instead of have. So if we have here she, we can put have because of the rule. So we must put has. Then we have the negative form, that again in the first position we have to put a subject. Then our auxiliary verb, that is have, or in the case of the third person singular we have to put has. Then not, participle verb, and a complement. So again, if I have she, we have to use has plus not plus a participle verb. Here, in the case of has not, or if I have here you, so here I have to put have and here not. In the case of this part, we use has not or have not in just formal cases. For example, if we want to write a letter or an email, or if you want to talk with your boss or your teacher, you have to use has not. In the case of an informal situation, for example, when you are talking with your friends, you can use the constructor of these words, that in this case should be hasn't, or in the case of you, haven't. Okay, so now in the interrogative form we have the auxiliary verb in the first position, that is have, and then we have to add a subject, that in this case I'm going to use I, for example. Then a participle verb, and then a complement. Complements are usually optional. You can put a complement, or if you don't want, it's not actually really necessary. So, in the case of the participle verbs, we find this kind of verbs in our verb list that is usually in the third file. So you can consult to your verb list if you don't know any participle verb. So that's it for now. See you. Going to see some exercises about present perfect tense, of course. So the first one is Jane, the verb stay, at home today. Jane is a woman name, so could be replaced by she. Okay, so it's a third person singular. So as we know, in the case of third person singular, we have to put has instead of have. So we have has, that is our auxiliary verb, and then we have the verb stay. In the case of stay, it's a regular verb. So here I have the rules for the regular verb, and ends with y. So here it's a vowel plus y, so we have to add just an ed. So it's stayed. Okay, so Jane has stayed at home today. So the second one, I is our subject, live it's our verb, here for 10 years. In the case of I, we have to use the auxiliary verb have, because this is now a third person singular. In the case of live, it's a regular verb also, so and ends with E. So the rule says that the verbs that ends with E, we should add a D at the end of the verb. So it's going to be lived. I have lived here for 10 years. Okay? So in the case of they, we have by for our verb, and then we have a new house. So in the case of they, we have to put have instead of has, because this is not a third person singular. Then in the case of by, this is a irregular verb. So the participle form of this verb is bought. Okay, so they have bought a new house. In the last exercise, we have Danny, that could be replaced, but he traveled for our verb to England. So in the case of Danny, as is a third person singular, we have to put has instead of have. In the case of travel, this is a regular verb, so we have to watch our rules for these types of verbs. In this case, travel ends with a consonant, that is L, so we just have to add ed. So it's going to be traveled. Traveled. So Danny has traveled to England. That's it. Thanks for watching.